Just so you know, there's like two staves that, because of the location of these knots, okay, I can only get two shorter staves out of them. And the shorter staves would probably be good for like me with a shorter draw length. But it's, you know, it's no, you certainly can't make two out of it. It's only one. So today I have a video of the one stave, the one log that had a couple of knots on it. I could only get one stave out of it, and it was twisted. It has a twist to it, and I wasn't going to waste the log. So I decided, you know, gave it some extra time. I trimmed it. I put it on the bandsaw. I put a shape of the bow on it there. It's, you know, because it's wet, it's green, and what I'm going to do is, you see that block of wood? It's got a twist on this stave. And what they say to do is, while it's green, clamp it down and let it dry, and hopefully the twist will dry out of it. Well, while I was cutting that hardwood on the bandsaw, and I'm very careful, I watch both my hands. It's the most important thing, watch where your hands are. As I'm going, a little piece on the end there, it slipped a little bit, and I touched it. And I got 7 stitches. I'll put some pictures of the stitches. And it opened up, and I grabbed my hand and drove myself to the hospital, got 7 stitches, came home. And while it still has the nerve block in it, this was really rough. I sanded it and got it looking good. And then this piece of wood, I had to use the bandsaw just now to cut it even enough that I could clamp it. So, not a bad day, except for all the time I spent in the hospital and 7 stitches. So, to be continued. Okay, so I managed to clamp it to the board, and the twist is out. I don't know if you can see or not, but the twist came out. Okay? So, tomorrow, depending on how bad this hurts after the nerve block wears off, I'll take the heat gun and just sit in a chair and heat this. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow, because I can't do much anything with the thumb. I'll sit there with the heat gun and I'll heat the belly. The belly of the bow is the part that faces your belly. That's this part. Heat it, and hopefully that'll help it take the shape, this flat shape here. So, I'm done. Good night. Hey, happy 4th of July. Got a little rain in the forecast today, and I've been really tired. I've been working hard for the past couple of days on these staves. And all I'm going to do is sit in the chair. I got a chair over here, and I'm going to heat up this twisted stave that I made into a bow shape, and try to see if it'll take the heat, see if it'll take the set. And what I'll do is I'll just heat up one limb at a time, like 15 minutes, keep it at about 1 inch away, you know, back and forth, and do the same on the other side for another 15 minutes. Then I'm going to unclamp it to see if we got get a straight bow. All right, so that's the idea today. We're going to see if we can straighten out the crooked stave. Once I clamped this crooked stave down and flattened it, you know, it's flat. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so this side was heat treated for 15 minutes. And you see how I have the clamps, right? Well, that's how I put it on in the garage. And then over here, I flip the clamps around because it's a little smarter. You don't have to avoid the, you know, the screws. So now I'm ready to heat treat this side for 15 minutes. And then we'll, after it cools, we'll see if it took some kind of set. Okay, heat treated both limbs for just 15 minutes. It's been sitting on the clamp for a couple of days. And I just want to see if it took some of the twist out. Had a pretty big twist, a noticeable twist. So let me go stand over here. Okay, looking at it, it took out a big twist. I mean, the end may have a slight little twist to it. It's not a big deal. But all in all, clamped and a little of the heat. And this is green. This is a green piece of wood here that's got to get aged yet, or fire hardened, whatever we're going to do with it. But just clamping it on that clamp, letting it sit for 3 days in the sun, and 15 minutes with the heat gun on each limb. Looks pretty good, don't it? Right? This is the piece of wood that, while I was cutting, it slipped a little and I just touched the blade. Got me 7 stitches. But anyway, it's looking good. It worked. So the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is look into making a hot box with some heat lamps like Clay Hayes and some of the other people have their heat boxes. And I was actually looking for a metal cabinet. I figure if I get one cheap enough on Amazon, I can put the heat lamps in there and set up racks. But it really is cheaper just to buy the wood and make it yourself. So that may be the next video. Heat box to dry out all these staves that we shaped. That's the end of that for today.